Welcome back to the Highline Podcast. Hit that button.
Yeah!
Let's go!
You can't do that.
I can't get it right.
Shut the up and let me talk.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
You're only young,
But you're gonna die. Proceed to party.
Ooh, are you ready, Riley?
What did he say?
Go Tigers.
That's incorrect.
Go Cox. I think that might be the best one we've ever done. That was good. I like that. Sometimes NASCAR's pain. Yeah, it hurts for a little while. Some things you can't change. You're preaching to the choir. Knives in the bag, ready to attack. Knives in the back. Running right back like a maniac. Running right back.
Check, running right back. Run it right back.
And the truth is,
If it doesn't hurt at all, then it doesn't mean a thing. I never knew that I could feel this way. If it doesn't hurt at all, then there's nothing left to save. 'Cause holding on to hope is a different kind of pain. Goddamn time.
it's a different kind of pain.
42 take Drake, like you said last week, you
Golly,
jackass.
boy. This is a different kind of pain.
And this song, we know way more than whatever I sung last week. What did I sing last week?
That's Ozzy.
Ozzy, yeah. I mean, that's that song.
This is a different kind of pain this week, though.
Yeah, it is.
Golly, boy. Gosh.
It's a damn shame.
It is a damn shame.
But
But if it doesn't hurt at all,
doesn't mean a thing.
then it doesn't mean a thing.
Shout out to Nothing More.
Oh, boy.
I have nothing more left to give.
Damn, boy. Fuck!
There it is.
Fuck!
That's peaking very much. Hey, to be honest with you, if you didn't want William Byron to win, you should have told Brad to get the fuck out the way for Blaney with about 5 to go. He would have won the race.
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't have.
God damn it. Fuck you, William Byron.
What? Hey.
That motherfucker.
Oh boy.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
If Brad Keselowski's going to win a race, just put the fucking mortgage on William Byron. Every fucking week. Every year.
Week.
Every year. Atlanta, the year we were in Atlanta. Brad should have won the race. Who won it?
William Byron.
Coke 600 last year. Who should have won it?
Brad.
Yeah, Brad. He had the best car.
Well, Christopher Bell won
Fuck.
that race.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
You dumbass.
I'm retarded.
You even get that shit
Well,
wrong.
fuck him, too. He's on the list as well. There's been a couple more. I'm drunk.
What's that Denzel Washington thing off Training Day? I'm putting cases on all you motherfuckers. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Anyways, I know there's a bunch more. Wait, about fucking Daytona this year.
Daytona last year.
Daytona last year. Fuck them all. Fuck William Byron.
Fuck 'em all.
Fuck them all. Fuck them by. God damn it.
Woo! No, I'm not happy.
And the problem is, my buddy at work,
he's a William Byron fan.
he's a William Byron fan.
Hell yeah. At least he's a NASCAR fan. At least we got that going for him.
We were watching the Atlanta.
My dad's a William Byron fan. Shout out to Mr. Davis. He's happy today.
I was going to say something here. Scott, you're a good dude. I like you a lot. You're a good guy. I won't say anything about you, but fuck William Byron. But no, my buddy at work, he's a William Byron fan. We were watching the Atlanta race on the way to Myrtle Beach this year. Who won that race?
Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell. Oh, that's right. That's my point. Christopher Bell and William Byron. Bane of my existence.
Well, like I said with me, and I told you before we started, I said Denny Hamlin wins all the races that my guy should win. Chris Buescher, Ryan Blaney, and Chase Elliott. Whole bunch of races Denny Hamlin won. Dover a couple weeks ago.
I know
Denny
there's
won,
there's more with the 24 that I can't think of right now. But
Denny at Michigan, Chris should have won the race.
It's just a damn shame.
Martinsville, well, I don't know about Martinsville. Denny kind of put it on him, but Chase had a good car, could have won. Darlington, Blaney should have won that damn race, and Denny wins it. Yeah, it's just it is what it is.
I was fully expecting Dude, after lap 10, I was in Brad's winning this race. Like it was a foregone conclusion.
You were in.
I was in
Brad's
it.
Winning this
I was
race.
in it.
Oh, you were in it. Like,
Brad's winning this race. There's nothing's gonna happen. Brad's won this race. He's the best car, no question, and he was. And 10 laps in, I was in it. It was over. Nothing can happen. Brad's gonna win the race. Is what it is. Wins first stage. Passes who? With 10 laps left to win, or 6 laps left, whatever it was, to win stage 1? William Byron. Wins stage 2. Got past Chase Briscoe with like 10 to go.
I thought he was dominating that second stage. I don't remember. I was at a birthday.
Chase Briscoe dominated the second stage,
at a birthday
but
party.
Brad passed him and took a fucking second lead with like within 3 laps of passing him. And it was over. And then the third stage, everybody that drives a cup car decided to forget how to drive, and there's 47 cautions, and saved William Byron 152 laps of fuel. So,
hey, now you know how it feels for me being frustrated with Joey Logano at Nashville last year.
I did get it last year too, but God bless America, that's a fucking frustrating race to watch.
We're jumping the gun on doing the race review.
God.
I don't think I even need to ask you this question there, Robbie.
I'm
but how are you
terrible.
doing?
I'm fucking terrible. It doesn't happen that often my guys have chances to win the race. It definitely doesn't happen that often that my guys have the best car by far, and it's not even close. I can't remember the last time it happened.
Do you remember all this frustration that I put in a couple weeks ago with Chase at Dover? And you said, hey, it's happened.
Chase is leading the points.
Yes, but
he's not 30th in points like Brad is.
He's only got one win in the past fucking 2.5 years, 3 years.
Chase is leading the points. Brad has 1 year.
Not anymore.
One win.
Not anymore. William Byron took the lead back over.
Chase has 1 win in the past year. Brad has 1 win in the past 3.
That's because Chase is just such a better racer.
He's in a way better car. But anyways, I'm doing god-awful. This race is done pissed me off.
And we're filming this on a Sunday night yet again, about an hour and a half after the race ended.
Oh, boy, that shit pisses me off.
If any news breaks throughout the week and we don't talk about
it on the podcast,
that's why.
When does college football start? I'm fucking done with NASCAR.
3 weeks.
Oh, boy. I'm fucking
August
pissed.
23rd.
I'm in a bad mood. I got to go to work in the morning. That put me in a worse mood.
No, I don't. That make you feel any better?
I'm going to answer your question. I worked all week. That's what I did this week. Didn't have no fun. Didn't have no good, was not optimistic coming into this weekend. Knew Chris was going to struggle. Thought Priest was going to struggle. Thought Brad was going to struggle. So I was happily surprised when Brad qualified well yesterday. Obviously, he was pissed off at Priest and Chris Buescher for qualifying 33rd and fucking 112th. But got some false optimism going into the Sunday. 10 laps in, and I got fucked for having it.
At least you got that.
I'd rather have no optimism. I'd rather have no optimism than false hope.
Than them running 15.
False hope is the worst kind.
If it doesn't hurt at all,
then it doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah.
I never knew that racing could make me feel this way.
Hey, you could have ended that. You could have threw that in the leads. Go Pirates. But yeah, it was. My week's been okay. Had my birthday on Thursday and.
Merry birthday.
Went out to a popular bar and grill that we used to go to all the time downtown Anderson, Rains on Main. It was a good time. Had some wings, had some beer, and didn't have to pay for it. Got it all for free. So it's a good day at the office. Got some baby clothes from my grandma, so I didn't even get a real present. It's for my son.
It's a damn shame.
It's a cute little outfit, but I was like, damn, my son ain't even here yet.
He's already outfit?
He's already taken the damn spotlight from old daddy. So
Get used to it.
Yeah, I know that's time. I thought I had a little bit more time to actually my birthday be about me. I want to talk about me. I want to talk about my motherfucking birthday. Anyways, yeah, I had an okay week, I guess. Obviously, William Byron winning is not what I wanted, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And he deserved this one more than the past couple of Daytona 500s and some of his other wins the past couple of years. So I'm not super mad at it. Like I said, my dad, he's a Byron fan, so happy for him. Get a second win of the year. Could have won a couple more races this year if it things would have gone differently for him. So it's kind of owed back to him on that one for today. So yeah. Do you want to talk about Iowa, or you just want to skip it?
Yeah, fuck it. What we got? Watkins Glen this weekend?
Yeah, let's just jump right into the Watkins, quickest podcast ever. No, William Byron wins at Iowa this weekend. Like I said, we're doing this on Sunday, so if somebody fails post-race inspection, and, that's why, because we won't know about it until after we get done filming. But, a very interesting race, to say the least. It was very difficult to pass, and track position mattered a lot. The first 150 laps or so were pretty standard. If you had track position, you were good. If you didn't, you struggled. And until all those cautions came out and you had some strategy, I think like I said, I missed some of this race because I was at my niece's birthday party. So I can't remember everything that happened, but I know a Shane Van Gisbergen caution, I think in the middle of green flag pit stops, kind of screwed a lot of people, which kind of started the ball rolling on kind of let's get this race drunk, and had a whole bunch of slew of cautions like back to back to back to back to back. And you had 7 different strategies, and you didn't know which one was going to work out. And William Byron was kind of on a strategy on his own on an island, and they had enough caution, saved enough fuel. And Chase Briscoe and Brad couldn't put enough pressure on him, at least towards the end of the run. I know Chase was up there at the beginning of that last run, but couldn't do nothing with him. And then he kind of William pulled away from him while saving fuel. And it seemed like Briscoe's cars kind of fell off as well towards the end of that run. But did enough to save enough gas to win the race. And I agree with you. I think Brad had the best car. I really don't think that's really debatable, considering he won both stages and had to pass guys late in the runs to win those stages. It wasn't like he just kind of got lucky on a fuel strategy sequence and was able to win a stage and then, and win the other stage or whatever. So, I'm sure that sucks for Brad fans, RFK Racing,
It does.
But you look at it this way, you still got a chance. You still got one guy in the playoffs still. Chris Buescher, although he lost points to his teammate at RFK, to Priest. I think it's down to 23 points now between those two. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But, just a weird day. First part of this race is kind of standard, kind of boring, so hard to pass. Tires didn't mean a damn thing, which is always frustrating to me, especially at a short track, when it should matter the most, and it just really didn't. It's based off how your car kind of was set up. If you had a good car at the beginning of a run or had a good car at the end of a run, differences on how you would pass there. But it was an okay race. Chase ran okay. He kind of got screwed. All those cautions, had to pit from second. Like 65 to go the last caution. Of course, when Chase pits, fucking no cautions happen ever again. That's how it goes. But Chris was awful all day. Sucks. And then Blaney had a good battle with him and Brad there. It looks like it's gonna be a Brad and Blaney show for the win there for a little bit. And then those slew of cautions kind of just messed the strategy all up, and Blaney had to pit later than probably they wanted to, and got behind the 6 and a couple other guys, and worked his way back after that on that long run, because Blaney is the best on the long run, in my opinion, at about any track, unless he just doesn't have a good car that day.
Fucking Brad.
And had a chance there at the end. Wasn't probably going to pass the 6 or the 19 or pass the 24. And win the race, nothing like that. But he had the best car at the very end of this race. So, not surprising that Blaney is the best on long runs. Just ran out of time there, and the strategy just didn't work in the 12's favor, but still a good finish for the 12 car. Won this race last year, coming home 4th in this race today. This is a very special race for him and his family, considering how many people show up to support Blaney. So, good run for him. But overall, I give this race a 6.5 out of 10. The cautions got a little chaotic, got a little crazy. The strategy made it interesting. But the first part of this race, and even the end, I will say that the first part was kind of boring, but the ending part, can Byron save enough? Can Brad, come up there and pass him? Can Briscoe do anything? And then all of a sudden Blaney's flying up through the field at the end. Can he pass all of them and win the race? He had the best car. It was a decent race. It wasn't the worst short track race I've ever seen, but definitely was not the best. Just a little bit, I wouldn't say a lot of meat on the bone, but a little bit of meat left on the bone as far as how this race went. And just dirty air and track position still matters way too much at these tracks with these cars, and it's frustrating. But I've seen worse, and I've seen better.
Yeah, I mean, to speak to the track position part of this race, I think it was the second stage. Briscoe had caught Ryan Preece. I think Preece was running like 30th. Briscoe's trying to lap him, and Preece was not good in the first half of the race. And Preece got to him and just could not pass him, and that's kind of what allowed Brad to get back to him a little bit. And Brad ended up passing Briscoe and ended up winning the stage, obviously. But Brad couldn't pass Preece either. Now, obviously, he probably wasn't trying that hard to pass Preece, putting a teammate lap down. But it is frustrating when the fastest car on the racetrack can't lap the 30th fastest car on the racetrack. So that was kind of frustrating, like you said. I get that. Passing was definitely difficult. If your car was really good, you could pass the car in front of you. Brad Keselowski, obviously the example there. I think, after he pitted, I think he was like 25th. Now, granted, he had a couple cautions help him out, had some guys pit, but drove back up to third and was probably better than Briscoe at the end there. Just very difficult to pass, as we've been saying. Couldn't get by him, which allowed the 12 to get there. But, in all honesty, I think it was a little bit better of a race than you're giving it credit for. Obviously, I think that might be because, Brad was very competitive, best car on the track. So I probably enjoyed it a little bit more than you. I, for one, hated when the cautions started coming, even though, some of them started helping Brad at a certain point. I wish they would have let it, go green. I think.
Well, hold on. Let it. You just mean you wish it would.
I wish it would have gone green.
Yeah,
I think the guys, on the racetrack, I wish they would have not wrecked and let it go green. Is what I mean by that. To see how it would have played out naturally, because obviously the 24 would have had to pit if all those cautions wouldn't have come out. I think Brad would have had a better chance, selfishly, if all those cautions didn't come out. I think Briscoe was really good on fuel. I think Brad and Briscoe would have been the two that were battling at the end there if all those cautions didn't come out. And I think Preece would have been in that conversation as well. And it seems like Blaney was coming on strong there as well. But, obviously, I don't like the fact that the 24 won the race, but, he did deserve it. I'm not mad at the fact that he won it. He didn't, it wasn't a bullshit win, but just, certain circumstances that played out that took it out of Brad's hand, which I think if things would have played out naturally, I think Brad would have won this race by quite a while if things would have, just gone his way a little bit. Because it seemed like, after stage 2, things just started. Everything that could go wrong for Brad as far as strategy did. He didn't get the car full at one pit stop, so he had to pit a little bit earlier than he wanted to. And then, all those string of cautions come out, which helped him a little bit in some avenues with cars having to pit as well. But I think green flag run would have helped him a lot more in the long run, and it just didn't happen. And Brad has been, in my opinion, the unluckiest NASCAR driver on the schedule this year. I think, whenever he's got a good car, things don't go his way. But even as he's, we can look back to his tenure at RFK, just super, super unlucky Brad has been. You can think back to Bristol year 1, the race that Chris won. Brad probably should have won that race, had a tire issue. We can think back to
Richmond.
Chris won. Yeah, that Chris won. We can think to Darlington, which he ended up getting lucky and winning that race, which probably didn't deserve to. Chris probably should have. We can think to Talladega several times had, some of the best cars and, speeding on pit road. And we can think to Atlanta, and we can, the race he's won at RFK, he probably shouldn't have. And there's been probably 5 or 6 that you can look at that he probably should have, that he didn't. So just the ups and downs of luck for Brad has kind of bitten his RFK tenure this far, and this is just another example of that. So super disappointed in that. Was really, really excited to see him win this race. And like I said earlier, lap 10, I called that he had the best car on the racetrack, and just didn't work out for him. So super disappointed in that. Like you said, Chris, still in it, and Priest still in it as far as points goes, but Brad needs a win, and he deserves it. I mean, the beginning of this year has been so bad for him, and he's really turned it on as of late.
He's up to 22nd in points, I think.
He's doing really well. He's probably the best RFK car out there week to week, the past few weeks, and just super disappointed he didn't win it, because he deserved it, and it's rare that an RFK car is that good. And we've got some good tracks coming up for us as far as Chris is concerned, with Watkins Glen and Richmond and even Daytona, and Brad should be good at Richmond and Daytona, but I don't expect anything of him this weekend at Darlington or at Watkins Glen. So. We'll see. I do expect one of them, and that kind of, I'll say 7.5 out of 10 on the race. But as far as this weekend goes at Watkins Glen, I don't expect, Brad to be super competitive there. But I do expect, one of the RFK guys to make the playoffs, and these next 3 races are going to be super critical in that. And I think any of the 3 can. It's just going to come down to points and who wins. And any of the 3 could win these next three races, and it wouldn't surprise me. So the playoff cut line is coming down to it, and we'll see. So the playoff race is crazy. It's coming down to it. 3 races left. We got Chris Buescher in the final spot. Ryan Preece breathing down his neck.
23 points behind him.
Got some...
and Chris is now 40 points below Bowman.
So but Bowman's going to have a couple bad races not to point his way in. And of course, that depends on who's going to win. So,
I think the best case scenario for you right now is just to get one of them in.
Yeah.
2 was a stretch with maybe Chris
Which I called
passing.
it at the beginning of the year. Only one RFK Ford's going to make it. I did say that.
I had 2. Which... to be honest with you, if Brad would have won and Chris would have won next week, I'd be right, because I had Chris and Brad in the playoffs. My preseason predictions, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
No, it doesn't. But, it seems like the 45's all but locked in. Obviously, if we have 3 new winners the next 3 races...
he'll probably lock himself in.
He'll be out, but he'll probably lock himself in this weekend coming up to Watkins Glen, just depending on who wins it. Obviously, if Chris wins or, somebody behind him wins, it won't be locked in. But if one of the if SVG or one of the other guys,
you just can't have like a Kyle Busch or a Austin Dillon winning at Richmond or a Zane Smith winning at Daytona or
Ty
anything like
Gibbs,
that.
somebody like that winning a race, which is super possible. But I think the 45 is all but locked in. I think the 48's in a really, really good spot, especially if we have, no new winners.
Even one new winner. He's on the cut line, but he's the last person in.
So I think Chris is...
Who's above Reddick? Or not above Reddick, above Bowman?
It's Reddick.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's Reddick. It's Reddick.
Okay.
Buescher. It's Reddick, Bowman, and Buescher.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
If I'm not wrong.
I think you're right. It just sounds right. I felt like there was somebody else, though. I think you're right on that one. What are you expecting?
Well, I think Reddick makes it. I think he'll be good this weekend. I think he'll be good at Richmond. I think he'll be good at Daytona. I don't expect him to win any of these races, to be honest. But I think he'll be fine on points. I don't expect new winners in all three of these next races, so I think the 45 is good. I think the 48 should probably be good as well. The gap that he's built with Chris Buescher on the cut line, I think he'll be fine. So I think,
I go back to not necessarily, but it's not 40 points, and he still got a decent day out of the race. But I go back to Chicago when Chris lost most of his motor.
Yeah,
that one just hurt real bad for the 17 team because
he had a top 5 car.
He had a top 5 car and he finished still like 18th, but Bowman finished like 6th. Yeah. And that killed. Didn't get no stage points after that. It just really hurt the 17 team there.
Yeah, so coming down to it as far as points go, the only guy I think that can point his way in that's not in right now is Ryan Preece. He's only 23 points behind Chris Buescher, which we can look back at Talladega. Yeah. If Talladega didn't happen for Preece, it would be Preece in right now and not Buescher. Preece would have a 10, 15 point lead on Buescher on the cut line. So, that's the one good thing about this playoff format that NASCAR has is that this, last month of the season really gets tight pretty much every year, regardless of how many winners you have and regardless of points and all that, is usually really tight. So, Ryan Preece is right there at 23 points. The next closest is Kyle Busch in 18th at 73. Mathematically, he can point his way in, but it's just not going to happen. So he needs a win. And everybody else behind him, Ty Gibbs, A.J. Allmendinger, Brad Keselowski's actually
21st. That's why I was going to say that too when I looked at it.
John Hunter Nemechek, Carson Hocevar, Mike McDowell, Eric Jones, all those guys, they're going to have to win. So, like I said, as far as points go, I think Reddick and Bowman are good as long as there's not 2 new winners. I think if you have a new winner this week, i.e. Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, those are A.J. Allmendinger could win this week, Carson Hocevar, Michael McDowell. As long as those guys don't win this week, I think Bowman and Reddick are going to be good. And I think it's just going to come down to Richmond and Daytona and whoever can win Daytona. I mean, fucking Rick Ware, it could put one of their cars in victory lane there. You never know. So it's gonna be tight. I do expect it to be cake from here, though. I do think it's going to be chalk. I think it's going to be Reddick, Bowman, and Buescher that make it on points. I don't think we're going to have a new winner in the next three races, just based on how the season's gone so far. I think SVG probably win this weekend, or Christopher Bell or Denny Hamlin,
Chase Elliott.
One of the guys that have already won a race. They're probably going to win this weekend. And then next weekend, Denny Hamlin, the 5, the 20.
6 and 17 have been good there.
Yeah, the 6 and 17 will be fine, but I don't expect them to win the race.
They bring that same 6-car setup they did here
that's
today.
The thing, though. Like, this is really the first race all year that they've had dominating speed. There's been a couple races here and there that the 17 have been good, or the 6 has been good, or the 60's been good, but this is the first one that they've been the best car on the track. So it's hard to predict that going forward.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to be chalk. I think it's going to be the 45, the 48, and the 17 that make it in. And if they don't, it's going to be Ryan Preece that ends up beating Chris Buescher. Because Ryan Preece has been really good on road courses so far this year. Ryan Preece has not been bad on the short tracks. Hell, he got a 5th place finish today. So going into Richmond, I know he'll have some confidence. He's good at Phoenix at the beginning of the year. So I think he'll have some confidence going into Richmond. And, those RFK Fords are really, really fast at the super speedways. So I think as far as points go, I think it's between Preece and Buescher. I know that's probably the easy, answer. But I really do. I think it's going to be between those two. But I think Buescher's a little bit better of a driver. He's got a little bit better experience, in these situations. So I think it's going to be chalk. I think it's going to finish the way it looks right now.
I disagree with you. I don't think it's going to be chalk. Every time we say it, it's pretty simple and cut and dry, it's probably going to happen. It usually turns out to be the other way around. I think we have at least one new winner in these next 3 races. I just hope to God it's Chris Buescher.
Me too.
Obviously, Watkins Glen, Michael McDowell scares the shit out of me. H. Allmendinger scares the shit out of me. Ty Gibbs scares the shit out of me at Richmond and Watkins Glen. Brad Keselowski's scaring the shit out of me right now. Not at Watkins Glen, but I think Richmond he'll be good. Daytona he'll be good. He stays out of trouble. He'll have a chance to win the race. I just hope that Chris can get a win because I think that's what it's going to take. And Chris Buescher and that team's been talking about winning all year. They haven't talked about points all year for this specific reason, and they find themselves in it yet again. I feel like the 17 team has faltered the past several weeks, just not bringing the car, not getting the finishes that either they deserve or they just didn't do a good enough job to put themselves in position to get a good finish at the end of the day. And it could come back to bite the 17 team. Priest is on a roll right now, 2 straight top 5s. Brad, 2 straight top 5s. Should have won today, more than likely. So Chris is right now, the past past few weeks has been the worst RFK car. And it's not even been close. Now, Chris was pretty good at Indy last week. Got kind of unlucky on a restart there at the end. Lost a lot of positions. Fell back to 14th. But still, like you make your own luck a lot of those times. If Chris is able to get in the top 5 earlier on in the race, I know it's difficult. I know Indy was very difficult to pass, but he's able to work his way up through the field earlier on in the race, not being that 8th to 10th place position. He wouldn't have been put in a position late in the race to have that type of stuff. So, 17 teams really disappointed me the past several weeks. Just other than Michigan, they really haven't shown race-winning speed when I thought Michigan was going to be a stepping stone into a win, and it just hasn't happened yet. And I think we'll get a new winner. I hope it's Chris, but something's telling me it's not, and something's telling me it's going to be a Ty Gibbs, or it's going to be a Michael McDowell, or A.J. Allmendinger, or a Daytona Zane Smith, which I'd be okay with Zane Smith. I picked him to make the playoffs this year, but I don't want him getting in over Chris Buescher. But 3 races to go, three distinct racetracks. You can't. It ain't like no 3 straight cookie cutters. Old Atlanta, fucking Chicagoland, and Richmond or something like that. It's road course, short track, super speedway. Like, you have to be good on all 3 of those racetracks unless you win if you want to make the playoffs on points. If you are even Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman goes out there and blows the motor lap 5 at Watkins Glen. Chris Buescher doesn't win, but he gets top 5. Next thing you know, they are fighting neck and neck for that last playoff spot if we have like a AJ winning there. So, and with Bubba winning last week, it really hurts the 17 team, and it makes it kind of, I wouldn't say it makes them in must-win territory because they're still in, but if you're Chris Buescher and team, you have to think that there's going to be another winner. You hope it's you, but if it's not, you got to think it's going to be somebody else below you. It might be one of your 2 teammates because they have outran you the past several weeks as far as finishes go. So, I don't know. It's hard to say what'll happen, but it looks like you said. It looks like it's chalk. Looks like it's pretty simple right now. It got less simpler because of how good of a day Priest had and how bad of a day Chris had. But it could be the other way around, and then it's good. He's got 48 points on Priest going into Richmond. And then Austin Dillon wins at Richmond, and all of a sudden, Chris Buescher's out. and he's 20 points below Bowman going into Daytona, and you never know what'll happen to Daytona. Even though it's not a good race per se, with them fuel saving for 80% of the race to the last pit stop and racing the last couple laps of a stage. It's still Daytona. It still could get chaotic. It still could have a crazy wreck and have a guy that runs 20. It could be a Daniel Suarez winning at Daytona that nobody sees. It could be a Riley Herbst winning. He's been good at Daytona in the past in the Cup Series. So you just never know. And if you're Chris Buescher, you're Alex Bowman, you're not feeling safe. If you're Alex Bowman, you feel safer, but you're still not safe. 2 out of 3 is very possible because these tracks, I could argue, are all 3 wild card-ish tracks, just based off who's good there. And a lot of the guys that are good at these 3 tracks are below the cut line. So, and Kyle Busch is still sneaking around there. You never know what KFB can do. He's still a 2-time champion, a 60-time Cup winner. He could go out there and win at Watkins Glen this weekend. He could go out there and win at Richmond. He could go out there and win at Daytona. You just never know. So it'll be a hard fight to the finish. But I just don't see in any scenario where it's going to be chalk, because every time we say that, it just never comes to fruition. So I think if you're Chris, you're in must-win territory. If you're Priest, you're in must-win territory. Obviously, below that, you're in must-win territory. And you argue if you're in Bowman's shoes, this Watkins Glen will determine if you're in must-win territory going into Richmond. Because if you get a new winner this weekend, I think you are in must-win territory going into Richmond and into Daytona late August.
We'll see.
Yep. Well, speaking of Alex Bowman, he won the last race that occurred where?
North Wilkesboro.
Not even close.
Damn.
Ow.
The Hockenheim Ring.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It's a road course in Germany. Oh, you're talking about Chicagoland.
There you go. He won in 2019, the last race we had here. And according to multiple reports and a lot of traction going around,
There's a rumor.
they're coming back to Chicagoland starting in 2026. Obviously, a mile and a half have been the best on these next-gen cars. Chicago Street Course not coming back next year. Mexico City not coming back next year. San Diego, new naval base, kind of replacing Chicago there. So Chicagoland gets the date back. So, Riley, how you feeling about this move back to Chicagoland?
I think it's going to be a good thing. I think Chicago put on the best racing as far as mile and a halves go with the previous car. And I think the mile and a halves have been way better than the road course stuff with this new car. So I think it's a match made in heaven type deal. I think Chicagoland having a date with the new Cup cars is it's good. I think it's going to be if it ends up happening, I think it's going to be one of the better races on the schedule. I think the Coke 600 is one of the better races of the year. I think Kansas and the other mile and a halves, minus Texas, put on a pretty good show. So I think Chicago will add to that. I think Chicago deserves a date. I think it's a good move. I think regardless of what the other tracks that NASCAR is looking at, I think if they're ever going to go back to a racetrack that they don't race at, that they've raced at in the past, I think Chicago should be number one on the list, and that's including Rockingham, at least right now with this car. Looking towards the future, I think Chicagoland could put on some of the best racing in the Cup Series right now. So looking to the future, I'm really excited for it. I think it could be one of the better races on the schedule next year if it ends up happening, which it seems like it will. So I'm excited for it, and we'll see. But I really, really am looking forward to watching a race here with these new cars.
Yeah, and speaking of that, it's rumored also that Chicago will kind of replace the exact race date as the street course, which would be 4th of July weekend. How do you feel about that?
I still think it should be Atlanta. I think a night race at Atlanta, 4th of July weekend, would be the best option if they're not going to run at Daytona, which seems like they're not ever going to go back there on July 4th weekend. But having it on an oval, I think it should be a night race, which Chicago's got. They got lights.
Oh, yeah. They used to race there all the time at night.
I think that's an option for them. But, it wouldn't be what I would pick, but I would be 100% okay with it as long as I think the I think the 4th of July race needs to be a night race. So I think they need to run it on a Saturday night. Let them drive a 400-miler at Chicago 4th of July weekend and shoot some fireworks off after the race, and I'd be all right with it. But if it's a 3 o'clock race on a Sunday, I won't be super happy with it. But as long as Chicago comes back, I don't care if they race it on a Wednesday afternoon. I'll be happy.
Yeah, Chicago is one of my favorite tracks growing up. It's probably in top 10. Always, like you said, it always used to put on good racing with Gen 6, Gen 5, Gen 4. It didn't matter. It was always a pretty entertaining race and multiple groove. It's not a typical mile and a half in the fact that there's a little bit of a curve down the backstretch.
Peyronie's disease.
Yes, it's not just straight on. You gotta turn a little bit, or you'll fucking pound the fence going into 3. So that makes it a unique track in its own. But you can use the high line, you can use the low line. Yeah, I really didn't mean to do that one that time.
I'm too drunk to be doing this. I'm drunk. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm drunk. I'm drunk.
You swear to drunk I ain't God.
I swear to drunk I ain't God.
So, yeah, I'll do mine in a second. But yeah, I love it. Love them coming back here. I sometimes think that NASCAR does this just to bring the interest back in the track. Because the past several years at Chicago, from what I've heard, the attendance there was awful. And if you're in NASCAR that time, you kind of don't blame them for leaving a track that seems like people don't care about. That's why they left Rockingham. That's why they left. What other track they leave? They left Dover out once a year. Only have racing Dover once a year now. Racing New Hampshire only once a year now. Just tracks like that didn't get a whole lot of attendance, a whole lot of buzz. TV ratings weren't that great. It makes sense to leave it in the business aspect of it. So, sometimes I think NASCAR does this for a reason. Like they want to get rid of a track, take them off the schedule, see how much people actually care about that race, bring it back a few years later, and get the buzz back around it. So I don't want to wait, 20 plus years like they did at North Wilkesboro, or 20 plus years at Rockingham. But do what you got to do to try to get interest back in that track. So it makes sense in that aspect. I think people are fired up. I think they gained a lot of NASCAR fans in Chicago, in the city of Chicago with the street race. Hopefully those fans come out next year to support NASCAR in the Chicagoland area next year. It's about an hour away from downtown Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, in Joliet. So hopefully it turns out good. It works out, because if it doesn't, then NASCAR might leave them again. You got to have some buzz around the track, buzz around a race. And if you don't have it at a certain track, it doesn't make any sense to leave it, whether it puts on good racing or not. So it's like you could watch the greatest game of all time in football, but if it's against fucking Missouri State and Delaware State, nobody's really caring that much, because it's not a mainstream game. It's not a lot of people care about that game, even though it might be the best game of the season. So I get that aspect, but I hope it turns out good next year. They raced here 4th of July weekend or maybe it was the week after. That's what it used to be. It never been 4th of July weekend, but they would always race this race, at least for after they took it out of the playoffs, I think, or back in the day. They raced it the weekend after Daytona.
Yeah, because this was the race that Ricky Stenhouse and Kyle Busch had that altercation on pit road after the 4th of July race at Daytona.
Yeah, they had it in the playoffs for a couple of years, or about 5-6 years in the 2010s to start the playoffs. 2011 to 2017.
Slide job!
2011 to 2017, I believe. Took it out, put it in after the weekend of 4th of July for 2 years, 2018, 2019. I don't remember what they did 2010 prior. I don't quite remember that. But it was around the summer stretch of Daytona and stuff like that back in the day. So it's not too crazy of where they used to race here if they do put it on 4th of July weekend. I agree with you. I hope it is a Saturday night race. And hope people show out and hope you got a lot of patriotic cars in that race because that's a big aspect of 4th of July weekend, whether people want to talk about it or not. If you don't have patriotic cars on 4th of July weekend, you're really just screwing the pooch. You're really missing the deal there because that's a important race on the NASCAR schedule because like I said a few weeks ago, 4th of July weekend is like the only, other than Memorial Day, but then you got Indy 500, which takes most of the shine and stuff away from NASCAR because Indy 500 is more important than the Coke 600 in mainstream media. So it's the only real holiday that NASCAR can kind of have on its own to shine in America. And you need to put on a good product, put on a good show, have it look good, have the cars look good. And Chicagoland, I have no doubt that it'll put on a good show and put good race. But we need other aspects of it to work, or else it's not really going to matter. In the grand scheme of things, will be off the schedule again in another 5 years. If nobody shows up, nobody really cares about this race. And it just has to work. So excited for it. Hope it. Like I said, I agree with you. I would rather have Atlanta be 4th of July weekend. But Chicago's not a bad B or C plan to 4th of July weekend. And I agree that should be an oval. I've always thought it was weird on a road course, even though it was a big market in Chicago. It always felt weird the past few years to have a 4th of July weekend on a road course. That's not what NASCAR is known for. It's not good old boys racing down the street. It just, if it ain't Daytona, it needs to be an oval. It needs to be a track that puts on good racing. And I think Chicago should, but we said the same thing about North Wilkesboro 2023, and they put on an awful all-star race. So, you don't know. You don't know until you get there, but I'm glad that they're bringing it back.
You could bet Chicago's probably going to put on a better race than that because the racing gets put on at the other mile and a half. So even the worst mile and a half on the schedule, Texas has been better with this car. Vegas has been better. Charlotte has been better. So
Homestead for the most part.
It's about the same. Maybe a little worse, just depending. But I would say if I had to bet, I think Chicago would be a good race.
You want to go next year?
Hell yeah.
How far is that of a drive, or we're about to fly?
I think we drive up there.
That's like 12 hours.
We just have to stay.
Nah, you sure you don't want to drive back 12 hours after
Depends
we get
on when
done?
the race is.
Thursday at 5 a.m.
Well, I tell you what. I think you should hit that button.
Which button?
RTT.
Ripping the topics.
Ripping the topics. RTT.
Ripping the topics this week. We got the Xfinity race.
Didn't watch it.
Yesterday. Huh?
Didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
I did. Fuck.
Scoot in a little bit for me, please. You look fine right there, but then you start veering off when you're talking.
Yeah, I did. I'll end up over here.
Yeah, you will. Xfinity race on Saturday.
Anyway.
Huh?
I said I might sit over here just because.
You turned her against me, cuh. You know who didn't turn against who on Saturday was B. Sam motherfucking Mayer.
Never heard of him.
That guy at Reigns at one time, he's probably happy.
Yeah.
Sam Mayer gets his first win of the season in Iowa. He's been really good at that track. I think he's won 3 out of the past 4 there or something now at Iowa.
Well, he won last year, that's for sure.
Yeah, so one of his better tracks, gets it done. First win at the new rebranded Haas factory team. And locks himself into the playoffs. It was a race, to say the least. You had just a terrible call by NASCAR with Matt DiBenedetto running into the back of somebody, dropping oil all over the track, and NASCAR said, fuck it, we're going to let him keep on driving. And cost Jesse Love the lead to Sam Mayer in that sequence. But had some wrecks, had some chaos. Carson Quaffle was first time at the track. He was decent, for my standards. I don't remember where he finished, but he was up there at the front towards the end. Didn't get a good restart. Fell back to like 8th or 9th and kind of finished there. But the main guys were up there. Sam and Connor Zillich won stage 1, had a speeding penalty, I believe, and worked his way back up, but couldn't get up to the front there at the end. And Jesse Love was very strong. Kind of the normal guys up there. Ryan Seek had a good day there for a minute. Justin Allgaier was a no-show, which is surprisingly.
Thank God.
Surprising, to say the least.
Fuck that dude.
I think he finished like 15th to 20th. Like, he didn't show no speed all day, which is the worst I've ever seen that 7 car in a long time. So that was very interesting. And, it was an okay race. CW did a pretty good job with Adam and Jamie. But, what'd you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent enough race. Sam Mayer winning was kind of
Yeah.
Yeah. But
goofy ass.
yeah, no, it is what it is. The Xfinity races here this season have kind of been all kind of forgettable for me, and this one kind of just falls into that same realm of things,
Connor couldn't do 4 in a row. He was going for that 4 in a row, which is very hard to do whether you're in truck, Xfinity, or Cup.
Yeah, so, but, minus Austin Hill, Eric Almirola situation, the Xfinity races this year have just kind of been lackluster to me.
The Martinsville race is the only one I can really remember, and that's off a bad reason.
I will say this: the racing on track is usually better, but there's not a ton of like, look at this, you're gonna remember this forever type moments.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where I'm at on this race this year at what the hell's the name of this track? Iowa. Yeah. I do think the racing was better on Sunday this week than it was on Saturday, which is rare. The Saturday race was not bad by any means. It's just that bottom lane was almost unusable. More than 2 or 3 laps into the run, even if you were way better than the guy in front of you. I know a lot of guys who were struggling to pass. You could pinch guys down and get that run down the back or front stretch and make it really, really tough on a guy, which is, similar to what was happening on Sunday. But I thought, if you had a car like Blaney did at the end or Brad did for most of the day, if you were way better than a guy, you could find a way by him. But
like Sam Mayer, I thought was the best him and Jesse Love were the best, and maybe Connor, the best 3 or 4 cars on the bottom on Saturday, and they were up front at the end.
So, it was an Xfinity race, that's for sure.
Or Ross, I forgot about Ross. Ross is in it. He dominated. He should have won the race.
Ross should have.
Yeah.
The 17 car wasn't that.
Connor Day.
Yeah, he wasn't really up there, but it's because Connor Day was in it.
Carson Savaro was okay.
He was all right. Kind of made Josh Williams look bad, which is our next segment. But it was an Xfinity race, and they'll have another one. But it's just another race on a Saturday for me that I won't remember in a couple weeks. Hell, I watched it 2 days ago, and I barely remember it now.
Yeah, facts. facts. But you just said it a minute ago. Josh Williams out at Kaulig. They parted ways.
I wonder if he parked the car at the at the front door and just got out and walked off after he got fired.
He might have. I would have done it. Said peace out the door. Yeah, this was man. When this Kaulig deal happened a couple of years ago, I thought, man, this is Josh Williams' big breakthrough. Kaulig was on a roll in the Xfinity Series.
Like Cottonelle, they were made for all this shit.
Yeah, and AJ Allmendinger was making constant championship forwards, winning a few races a year. You thought this was his big breakthrough in the 11 car to try to show what he's got, and he just I will say this, a lot of bad luck along the way, a lot of wrecks,
and those cars have been dog shit the past couple years.
That's what I'm saying. Like the cars weren't the same, but also he had a lot of bad luck along the way. But at the same time, if you are a good enough driver, you should take advantage of the equipment, which was way better at Kaulig than it was at the 92 team, whatever team. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of that team. But it was better equipment, better people, and he just ran 15th to 25th every week when he wasn't involved in wrecks. When he was involved in the wrecks, he was still running around there. He was a few times here and there. He'd run the top 10, but it was rare. It was rare. And for Kaulig racing in the Xfinity Series, that's not good enough. And that's probably why they said, okay, it's time to make a change. I don't know if it was more on Josh's end or Kaulig's end. I'm assuming it's more on Kaulig's end.
I think it's 50-50, yeah.
Maybe. But, overall, it just didn't work out. It was just how
are you talking about as far as why Josh isn't driving anymore?
Yeah, like who'd have made the decision.
It's 100% Kaulig. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But whose fault is it? I think it's 50-50.
Maybe. But still, Josh just didn't do enough in that car to show what he had in a top tier-ish,
or maybe he did,
organization. And it makes sense. I like Josh Williams. He's a good guy. Seemed like a throwback racer, but just didn't work out for him. And I don't know where it goes from here for him. I don't know where Kaulig goes from here. They got an open seat going into next year. I don't know who that 11 car is going to be driven by the rest of the year.
It won't be Hocevar.
No, he said one off for him. So interesting to see how that transpires. But yeah, just a thing that didn't work out. You think it's kind of like maybe it could be a kind of like a thing in college football. You get a good transfer from a smaller school, and you think he's going to be good, and it just never pans out. And it's kind of how it is here in the Xfinity Series with Josh Williams and Kaulig. It just never panned out for him. Yeah. And, Josh could maybe try to get his way back into the truck series, try to get a ride there next year, or get a smaller team in the Xfinity Series next year. I don't think he's done racing, but this is a missed opportunity for him, for sure. And, Kaulig's got to get their cars better. I think they understand that. They used to be top tier with Gibbs and JRM a few years ago, and they're no longer even close to them. They're not even close to them right now, so they got some work to do there.
And Chevy's been dominating, too. It's not even like Gibbs is Toyota's.
All JRM.
There's only been 2 Toyota wins all year. This was the first win from Ford, so that tells you how many races Chevy's won.
Yeah. So, it's just a missed
opportunity
Josh
Williams
for Josh.
has not been close. And, like you said, I'm a fan of Josh Williams as well. I like his personality. I think he's good for the sport. I was rooting for him. I was hoping he would do well in that car, but he just hasn't. And Kaulig has made the right decision here. Just looking at it from a business and racing aspect, would I've liked Josh Williams to succeed in that car? Obviously, but it just the proof is in the pudding, and he just wasn't getting it done. Now that's not to excuse the cars. Kaulig has, like you said, not been good the past couple of years, but.
Even the cars not being good, AJ Allmendinger still made the championship for last year.
Yeah, so Kaulig is good enough that you can be competitive. And Josh Williams has just not been competitive. He's been average at best. And I understand that that's kind of like just like a cliche saying, but like he really has been average at best. When he's on his game, when he's doing everything right, when that car is on, you're lucky to get a 10th place finish out of him, and that's average, and that's not good enough. And I don't know what's coming up for Kaulig. I don't know who they're going to hire to get in that car. I don't know if it's going to be a Cup guy coming down, or maybe a truck guy coming up, or maybe it's a lateral move that's trying to get maybe a little bit better equipment. But for the rest of this year, Kaulig's going to be trying to figure out, was this Josh Williams' fault or was this Kaulig's fault? And like I said earlier, I think it's 50-50 right now. I think Carson Hocevar showed that Kaulig's probably got a little bit more speed than Josh Williams was able to get out of that car. But he didn't dominate the race. He didn't go out there and win the race. He didn't go out there and show that Kaulig car was, race winning equipment. He did do better than Josh Williams could do, which I'm not really surprised by, being that he is a Cup regular and, competitive most Sundays.
He's got more talent than Josh.
And a lot of people think that he might be one of the up-and-coming guys in the Cup Series. So, not surprising that he got a little bit more out of that car than Josh, but the real question is going to be, who they're going to put in that car for these weeks going forward, and what can they do in it. Because if they put a Ross Chastain in it and it does the same as Carson, that's obvious. But if they put a Rajah Caruth or a Corey Day or one of these other Chevy development drivers in it, and it runs better, or just as good, at the very least, as Josh Williams, they know that they've got some work to do. But if they put somebody in it like Corey Day or Rajah Caruth and they run 30th, maybe they need to work on the equipment a little bit. I think they do need to work on the equipment a little bit, but we'll see for these next few weeks where the work needs to be done, whether it be driver or car, which I do think it's a little bit of both. But, we'll see what happens. Hopefully Josh can find a car. I think he's perfectly suited for a ride, kind of like Jeb Burton's in right now. We don't really expect you to do a whole lot, but if you can be competitive, fight for a playoff spot on points, that's what we're looking for. I look at him a lot like a Jeb Williams type. Jeb Burton type guy. Who? I think those guys are very similar as far as driving talent goes. So probably not the guy that you're going to put in your car if you want to win every week. But if you got a car that's and you want to squeak out a 15th place finish when you're a 20th place car, that's a guy you might be looking for. So hopefully he can find a ride like that, and we'll see what the future holds for him on that.
Yeah, real quick, I'll end on this. Kaulig is kind of in a rebuilding phase right now.
Who?
They got a lot of young drivers there, other than Josh. They got Christian Eckes, who's
not been good.
Been not great this year. They got Daniel Dye.
Not been good.
Not been good this year. So they got a lot of young drivers, and they're trying to figure out how to rebuild their team when they had a Ross Chastain, they had a A.J. Allmendinger, they had a Daniel Hemrick, guys that were, pretty experienced, that knew what to do, knew what the cars needed and stuff like that when they were at the top of their game in the Xfinity Series. So, it does take some time, but, Josh kind of just ran out of it, in my opinion. But,
yep.
Anyways, who didn't run out of time, who just getting back going, would be NBC. They came back this week for the Cup Series. Lee Diffie, Chris Buescher,
who
from Prosper, Texas, is going to win at Watkins Glen 2025. Please,
hopefully.
They came back. Lee Diffie, Jeff Burton, Steve Letarte. They had Marty Snyder. I said Marty Smith. I don't know why I keep on saying Marty Smith. Marty Snyder on the Peacock pit box with Dale Jarrett.
Who?
And then they had the pit reporters of Dave Burns, Kim Kuhn, and who else?
Dr. Jerry Punch.
No, fucking asshole. Come on.
Chris Broussard.
No. No.
Mina Kimes.
No, fuck off. Just shut up. Somebody else. Why can't we remember this guy's name? Ow, JT
Daniels.
Yeah, him. Anyways, they came back this week. Riley, what do you think about it?
I thought it was better than TNT, that's for sure. I think it was better than Fox week 1. I don't think it was better than Amazon, but I do think that they have solidified them as the
Silver.
second. Yeah, they're silver. They're second best, which is not terrible. I thought Amazon blew it out of the water. I thought Fox was terrible, and I thought Amazon TNT really dropped the ball.
Get it right.
So I thought NBC did a good job. There's some screw ups. I think Jeff Burton, calling people by the wrong names here and there, or stumbling over his words. It happens. So I think as the season goes on, we got 13 races left with them. I think as we get a couple more races in, by the time they hit the playoffs, they'll be in full stride, and we'll be, hopefully competitive with the Amazon guys.
Dylan Welch.
Yes, that was going to be my next guess. But
I think it was Dylan Welch.
I don't think they were great, but they were good, and there's some work to be done, but I was happy with it. I thought the camera angles were better than TNT by far. I thought the sound was better than Fox and TNT by far. I thought the production was better than TNT and Fox by far. I thought they were second best. They've got the silver medal, and I don't really know if they're going to be able to take that spot from.
And Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to take that spot from Prime, but they're really going to have to work to fall below Fox or TNT as well. So I think they're going to be the second best.
Yeah. Kind
of no matter what.
Yeah. I thought it was, like I said, I didn't really get to hear the audio from the first part of this race because I was at a birthday party, but second half what I heard was about as NBC as normal from last year, the past couple of years. I like Lee Diffie a lot. I know we're somehow racist.
Yeah, that one guy
one
guy on TikTok. These are the same motherfuckers that like the Brit motherfucker calling goddamn race. Suck my dick.
I like Lee Diffie a lot. You go back in early NASCAR days, you had British announcers and stuff like that. So, I don't mind that. I don't think about that. If you sound good, I don't care how you sound or who you are. If you sound good and you know what the fuck you're talking about and you can deliver it well, I don't care who you are. And Lee Diffie does a good job.
It's not how you sound, it's what you say.
Yeah, and Lee Diffie does a good job at doing that.
And when you say it. And if you're right.
You're not wrong.
I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
Were you? Were you right about Kyle Larson beat Christopher Bell this week?
I should have been.
Anyways.
Where do you want your steak dinner this year?
Yeah, I'm up 6 now. But yeah, I liked him. Steve Letarte, he's been going on racing now for 11 straight weeks. He's fine. Jeff Burton was a little off today from what I heard, but he was still solid enough, getting back in the rhythm of things, other than call the in-season tournament like he's been doing with Larry Mack the past 5 weeks up until this point. But pit reporting was good. I love Dave Burns. I think he's better than Marty Snyder, in my opinion. He's very good. And, Kim Kuhn has her moments where you're like...
She's kind of hot.
Not as hot as...
her.
Shit.
Say my name, say my name.
Danielle Trotta.
Yeah, she's so hot.
Yeah. So she has her moments where she's like, come on now. And then other moments she's pretty good. So could be better there. But broadcast, the camera work was pretty good. I didn't like the super wide shots on restarts because I get it though, because in case you have a wreck towards the back of the field, you want to be able to see it from a bird's eye view. But that wasn't the best. But I get it. Not as many close wide shots. There was a few times where they were focused on William Byron when Brad Keselowski was passing Bowman and Priest. I'd like to see that battle there, rather than seeing Byron out there 5/10 ahead of, Chase Briscoe. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good job. I hate it wasn't on Big USA. You said that last week. I hate
wasn't on Big USA, huh?
Big NBC, sorry, is on USA. First race back, you'd like to have, the big program to start your stretch. But Iowa is not a huge get in the TV ratings market, I'm sure. So I kind of get it, but I'd rather see it on big NBC to start your stretch. But overall, I thought it was a good broadcast. Nothing to complain about. It was, like you said, it's silver for me. You know, it's not as good as Amazon. It's way better than Fox, and it's better than TNT. So, you know,
'Cause I'm TNT.
you know, we'll see how they go from here. I think they'll get. They should get better, week in and week out, as they get more comfortable back in the swing of things. As far as the guys that haven't been calling races over the past, 10, 11 weeks, like like Lee Diffie, Jeff Burton, and Dave Burns and stuff like that. They haven't been calling NASCAR races this year. They should get better as they get on, and they're the best, in my opinion, talent-wise in the NASCAR broadcast team. So should be on the upcome from here. I'd give them for the debut this year. I'd give them a B+. Nothing amazing, but nothing to what the fuck are y'all doing. So if I'm not complaining about certain things for a broadcast team, then you did a pretty good job. So. Yeah, we'll see how they do from here. I think they'll get better as time goes on. But we'll just have to see.
Hit that one.
Attaboy.
Attaboy.
Attaboy. My attaboy.
Wrong.
My attaboy from Iowa this week. I'm going to give it to Brad Keselowski. I know he didn't win the race, but, man, he showed race-winning speed all day long. Should have probably won the race in a time where, it hadn't been the best year for you. It's been one of the worst years, actually, as far as luck goes, and how bad he was at the beginning of the season as far as bad finishes, bad luck. And for them to still bring a car that fast, for Brad to still be grinding, trying to get a win for that team. I know he owns the team, but as a driver, I'm sure as an owner, it's not as difficult, but as a driver too, where your team, you got to look at your team too on Sundays. You're like, man, my team we can't do nothing. Can't get no breaks. For him to still come out there, race his ass off, almost win the race, have the best car, win both stages, finish in third. He's jumped up 21st in points, which is incredible considering where he was 10 weeks ago, 32nd in points. A huge build up to this. Just couldn't quite get the job done. I know third place really, in hindsight, doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter at all unless he wins the race in the next three, because he's not going to point his way in. But for Brad to keep fighting, Brad's always a fighter. I've always respected that about him. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I always respected how hard he fights, how much he wants to win, how much he drives that car, wills that car to win sometimes back in his Penske days.
Especially 2014 Texas.
He didn't win that race.
Should've.
No, he shouldn't have. Jeff Gordon
You know who
won that
didn't?
race.
You said his name.
Kevin Harvick. But yeah, give a attaboy to Brad Keselowski and team. They could have given up start of the summer, midway through the summer. We're not going to win a race. We're not going to point our way in. Just fuck it. Let's try to get 17 to 60 in. We'll try things on the 6 car. And they come out and they should have won this race, had the best car. Just came up short at the end, but still a great day for the 6 team and Brad Keselowski. So, attaboy, Brad Keselowski and the 6 team.
Yeah, it's a good.
Is it a good pick?
Good pick. I might put that on my. You can't do that. I'm not going to pick them, but they should have won the race. So them not winning the race.
Well, really wasn't out of their control.
I know. That's why I'm not going to give it to them. But I'm going to give the attaboy to their teammate, and it's definitely not going to be Chris Buescher. So I'm going to give it to Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece was god-awful to begin the day. Qualified 33rd, and that's probably where he should have qualified. I mean, he was bad in practice. He was bad in qualifying. Qualified 33rd. Probably should have got lapped early in the race. Didn't. Got lucky with that. And it was pretty non-competitive throughout the majority of the race. But then, had some things, fall his way. Had a speeding penalty there with Alex Bowman midway through the race, and fought his way back and was running top 10 there at the end of the race. And
Top 3?
ended up getting up top 3. Probably 5 laps into that last run, was probably the best car on the track there for a couple laps. Was passing guys on pretty much the third groove, which was was almost non-existent for most of the guys during the day. Ended up, long run speed wasn't there, and Brad got by him, and Blaney got by him as well. But great day for that 60 team, especially, looking at back what it could have been if they would have gone a lap down early in that race. We probably would have never seen them again. And fought really hard to keep Briscoe and Brad behind him in the second stage. Stayed on the lead lap, had some help with pit strategy and
he had some
falling,
help.
so and then made the most of those restarts towards the end of the race. So really made the best of a situation. Like I said, could have finished 25th. Wouldn't have surprised me if he did, but he ended up finishing 5th. So, still has a chance to point his way in. That's, unfortunate that he's going to be having to race his teammate, but, he's got to worry about the 60 car, not the 17, and that's what he's doing. And he didn't make it easy on Brad. Kind of put Brad in some bad spots on restarts there.
It was better than him.
Yeah, I was yelling the whole time, Priest, get the fuck out of the way.
And he said, Priest,
move.
Priest.
Yeah. So, I don't blame him for that. Doing the best he can to point his team into the playoffs. So, 5th place finish for him, especially looking back at what that day could have been for him, is an attaboy deserved for sure.
10-4. Hit that button for you can't do that.
You can't do that. Can't go 3 wide with the trucks here.
You just can't. You can't do it.
You can't do that. Well,
you can't do that, Riley, for fucking up the intro 732 times. Sorry, it's your turn.
No, yeah, it's gonna go to Chris Buescher and team.
What?
So we got all 3 RFK Fords and the attaboy. You can't do that this week.
That's a first. I think I did the first.
It's that was just pathetic. I didn't even know he was racing in the race till about 15 laps to go. But,
some of that body guard car, he just can't.
He was bad. I mean, just
luck.
real bad. Qualified 28th. Ran there all day. Just a non-factor. Pit strategy was non-existent because he was so slow. I mean, just really bad. I mean, especially when you look at Brad Keselowski, who had the dominant car, best car on the track by far, no question. You're not even close. Brian Priest, Lux. I mean, we could say Lux into a 5th place finish, and you're just there. You're just one of the guys, and that's just really pathetic, based on where you need to be, as far as the points go, based on talent and obviously what the cars can do. Just a really bad day for the 17 car. Just really disappointing. Gonna really have to show up to Watkins Glen. Won the race here last year, obviously, so won't surprise me if he's good this week, but
he needs to be.
Gonna have to be. So just really bad. I don't remember ever looking up and even caring about where Chris was, which obviously that's because where Brad was running. But I don't think I ever saw him at top 25 all day. So just real bad. So hopefully they can turn it around. 3 races to go. Got to point their way in if they don't win a race, and how it played out today is just not going to cut it. So you can't do that, Chris Buescher.
Yeah, disappointing for sure. My you can't do that's going to NASCAR officiating. Shocker. Going on Saturday, man, the Matt Benedetto thing. Now, I know I'm just a dumb NASCAR redneck fan. They don't know shit about fuck. But, like, when Matt hit and he was smoking because he got hit, I was like, oh, that's radiator fluid. That's oil coming out of the 99 car. They didn't throw the caution. Even the announcers, Adam Alexander, Jay McMurray's like, I'm surprised they're not throwing the caution here. And the leaders go into turn 1. Jesse Love almost wrecks. I forgot who spun out. Just Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones spun out. Ross Chastain goes out of the groove. wreck, caution, all over the racetrack. Hiccups kicking my ass. But fuck, hit me in the chest. Ah! Do it again. That wasn't my chest. Say it with the chest. Ah! That's not. That doesn't. Jesus Christ! I'm gonna have a bruise tomorrow. Ah! It's not working. Okay, that hurts. You jackwagon. I'll get through it. But it cost Jesse Love the lead, and he never could get it back. Ah! You're an asshole. But I'm going to cry. But yeah, it just kind of it affected the outcome of the race on Saturday when it didn't need to. If I, as somebody watching at home, could be like, yeah, that probably dropped oil. Dropped some liquid on the racetrack. Let's throw a caution just to be safe. NASCAR's always in the range of safety. I know it's not a huge thing with safety. It's just, it created a mess, not more of a safety reason, but it created just a mess that didn't need to occur in that situation. And they didn't throw the caution, and it affected the outcome of the race because Jesse Love lost the lead to Sam Mayer, and he could never get it back from Sam. When it would have been a good battle between Jesse and Sam if Jesse had the lead, because I think they were the best two-ish, the top 2 to 3 or 4 best cars all day. And I don't like it when something like that happens, when somebody loses the lead because there's oil over the racetrack. And it kind of affected who won the race. So when NASCAR officiating gets in the way of who wins a race or not, you're going to get you can't do that, because I feel like it was avoidable. Like, you should take precaution, and somebody's smoking when they got their front end caved in and they're driving down the backstretch and pulling it down to pit road when, yeah, there might be oil on the track. And I know you can't really see the oil on the track, and NASCAR wants to let the spotters who watches the corners see if they can see the oil. It's very hard to see. But, you be precautionary, throw the caution. We see NASCAR do it other ways where they shouldn't have thrown the caution, and they should have. Then we see it the other way of they throw the caution that probably shouldn't have. But when you have a mess like this going into the next corner, next lap with the leaders, and this shit happens, you're going to get you can't do that because it affected the outcome of the race. That should never occur. I don't give a shit how it happens. If it would have been fucking Connor or Carson Kowalfel that took advantage of that, and he would have took the lead and won the race, yeah, I'd be happy in the moment, but that would still be kind of bullshit because, and I'm not saying Sam Mayer didn't earn this win because he had one of the best cars, but he got the lead off of some bullshit. And it would be interesting to see if he could have passed Jesse Love on a restart with him being the second car when he was second in line instead of him being the control car, because of Jesse Love about wrecking into one because of oil all over the racetrack. So NASCAR officiating, you can't do that. Yet again, affecting another outcome of a race when you could have avoided it. So NASCAR officiating, you can't do that. Do you agree? You got any comments?
Yeah, you're right.
Remarks?
I mean, it's just it's bad. I was cooking hot dogs at the time when it happened, but
did you ever watch it?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Just bad. But why am I not surprised?
Yeah. In-season tournament, who's winning?
Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, no. He fucking made it to the tournament.
Going to Watkins Glen this weekend. Think it's going to be a pretty decent race. One of my favorite road courses. Granted, I'm not a huge road course guy, so it's really not.
It's my favorite road course.
Doesn't mean a ton, but
doesn't mean a thing.
Brad did not win last year. Chris
come
did
close.
though, so hopefully, RFK Fords will show up and have some speed. I do think SVG's the guy to beat, which is duh. I kind of think that's an obvious statement. I think, there's some guys below the cut line that you'll see that'll be competitive. I think Mike McDowell will be good. I think AJ will be good. I think the 54 will be good. So I think it's going to be super interesting as far as the cut line coming down to the playoffs will be. I think as far as the racing goes, it'll be average at best because it is a road course and it is a next-gen car. So, we'll see what happens, but I don't really know who's going to be good or dominant. I do want to say SVG is going to be the guy, but he wasn't really super dominant last year. Probably should have won the race, but Chris Buescher's just so damn good. He beat him at the end, but we'll see. And AJ's been kind of hit or miss on road courses so far this year, and there's a lot of guys with some road course talent that we expect to see up there. So we'll see. I do think that this race is going to be the wildest of wild cards, and that's including Daytona. I think this one's going to be the one that shakes it up the most because there are so many guys that are good at road courses that are able to affect the cut line. So we'll see what happens, but I do think if we have a new winner, it will come this weekend.
Yeah, Chris won this race last year in the playoffs, which would have been before the playoffs. He would have made the playoffs last year, but obviously, it would have been different on how things would have panned out if it wasn't in the playoffs last year. I get that, but yeah, it's this race last year came down to strategy, kind of how the cautions fell, and I think that's kind of how it's going to work out this year. Kind of like it did today at Iowa. They just you don't know who will be the leading car on the right strategy at the very end of the race because you got couple untimely cautions that could affect the outcome of who's going to be up front, who's going to be 15th. That'll determine who your winner is, and I think that's what's going to boil down to. Qualifying will be important, but if strategy gets all mixed up, you can be 35th, and if you got the right strategy, you worked your way up through the field, and you made your pit crew and did the best job, and your crew chief called the best race as far as strategy goes on how it works out, then you'll be in contention to win this race. So track position will matter, but it could get crazy in the fact of strategy and when the cautions come out, and pit road will be important. Usually we get a late race caution here. We had one last year, had a couple last year. William Byron, Brad Keselowski, I think Denny Hamlin were about flipping on top of each other, going in through the carousel there, or the S's. So probably have one of those again. Some wrecks on some restarts, might have a little pile up. You never know. Got to be ahead of it or far enough behind it to miss it. And there's some luck involved in this race, and it's not Daytona or Talladega or Atlanta type luck, but it's not too far off of it, in my opinion. So. Yeah, it's just according to which crew chief has the best strategy at the end. To get a speeding penalty or a pit road penalty of any sort, you got to have it early. You can't have it late, or you're screwed. And you got to be on the right side of the strategy at the end to have a chance to win this race. Could come down to fuel mileage. I've seen this race come down to fuel mileage a few times here in the past. And like you said, it's a wild card race, and you gotta put yourself in position to win the race at the end, and we'll see how that goes. But I think Hendrick's been very good here. Obviously, William Byron won here first year of the next-gen car. Chase Elliott has won here a couple times. Bowman's been good at road courses. Larson's won here. So Hendrick should be strong. Gibbs should be strong with Gibbs. And Briscoe, he's a pretty good road course racer we've seen. And Bell, he's been a solid road course racer as well. Trackhouse has been very good at road courses, with Ross and SVG and even Daniel. So Rouse, obviously with Chris Buescher and Priest showing speed at road courses this year as well. So I think those are the main 3 or 4 teams to look out for this weekend. And I think you get a wild card in AJ Allmendinger or a Spire and Michael McDowell to shake things up as well. So I think it'll be from one of those teams this weekend that'll get the checker flag in New York.
So with that being said, who you got?
My heart tells me one thing. My head tells me another thing.
Go with your heart. Go with your heart, please. Give me a shot.
No. Go with SVG.
God damn it.
Go with SVG. It's my last time using them.
Yeah.
But
that's a smart pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with SVG. He almost won this race last year.
Fuck!
He should be good. probably will get top 5 starting spot, according if he can stay out of trouble and he don't make mistakes. He's on a roll with the road courses with this car. He's won 3 straight, so I don't see any reason why to not pick him again. He dominated Sonoma so bad that I'm sure it'll be closer this weekend than Sonoma. I think. I don't know. I hope. But, give me SVG. I think he's just going to be a problem. He's got enough experience at this track. He's raced here twice in the Cup Series, so he's not like he's coming here for the first time. Like, it didn't matter Mexico or Sonoma. But Mexico, nobody had raced there. But Sonoma, in the Cup Series, he's never raced there before, and he still, won the race. So, give me SVG this weekend. I think he's going to be a problem. And as long as he doesn't take himself out of contention, or if somebody just has a better car than him and can outduel him, which Chris Buescher did it last year. I hope that can happen again. But, yeah, I'm going to put my money on SVG this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the duh pick. That's why I was telling you to hopefully go with your heart and pick Chris Buescher, because I don't expect that to be, a repeat of the last year this weekend. So, obviously, I was going to pick SVG. If you didn't, which leaves me with 3 guys on my list that I can choose from. I'll go ahead and give you a list because I haven't decided yet. I'm going to pick right now based on this. But I've got A.J. Allmendinger, Mike McDowell, and Chris Buescher that are in my 3. All 3 of them are going to be competitive. I think A.J. Allmendinger, has the best chance of winning the race out of those 3. But he's not been that good on road courses this year. You got Michael McDowell, who I think is kind of the safe choice. Probably going to get me a top 10, but I don't know if he's going to be good enough to win the race. And then I've got Chris Buescher, which I think he's kind of closer to AJ as far as being, more likely to win the race than McDowell, but I don't know.
So who'd you talk yourself into?
I've talked myself out of all of them, to be honest with you. I'm going to pick Cody Ware.
Okay, cool. You said it. Let's go.
No, I ain't picking Cody. Give me Michael McDowell. I think as far as, car goes and, talent on road course and likelihood to be competitive with SVG, I think he is as competitive as Chris Buescher. And I just have not had any luck with picking the RFK guys this year. So give me Michael McDowell. Was leading the race at Chicago before, had transmission issues. So give me Michael McDowell. Hopefully he can finish second and beat SVG, who finishes third.
Yeah.
To Chris Buescher.
That's fair.
Or Ryan Preece. Or Brad Keselowski.
Good luck with that. But this is Brad's best road course. But, we got a full slate of NASCAR racing this weekend. Got the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup racing at Watkins Glen this weekend. The Truck Series will race... Why are you not telling me this? Friday at 5, I believe, on FS1. The Xfinity race will be Saturday at 3 o'clock on CW, and the Cup Series will be at 2 o'clock on USA on Sunday. So it should be a decent weekend. I think the Xfinity race will be a good show. You got SVG in that race as well with Connor Zilic. Connor Zilic is kind of where this race last year, he put his name on the NASCAR docket, winning that race in the 88 car last year when he wasn't full-time, winning there, beating SVG there last year. So I think SVG and him will battle out for the win on Saturday. I think Corey Howman probably the clear-cut favorite on Friday, and then Sunday should be an interesting race. I think you can see 15, 20 guys win that race, according to how everything falls into place. But Riley, what you got going on this weekend?
Work. Hopefully I find time to watch the racing this week, but I don't know for sure. But luckily it's Watkins Glen, so
yeah,
I won't be super pissed if I miss the racing.
Yeah, I'll be working this weekend as well. So I'll be on night shift, you'll be on day shift. So, yeah, it's a road course. It's my favorite road course. It kind of sucks, but it is a road course. So I'll be working that and a fun oval race, I guess. So, Yeah, not a lot going on. Yeah. That's all I got. You got anything to add?
Go Cox.
Jumping the gun on that one.
Oh, my bad.
But yeah, if y'all listen to the episode, appreciate you. Drink a beer, shotgun a beer, or drink an ice cold Coca-Cola. Follow us on the Highline. Follow us on TikTok at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on YouTube at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at the Highline Official. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast at the Highline. Hit the notification bell.
Ding, ding.
To get every update every time we drop an episode. We drop one once a week. We'll come back next week to review Watkins Glen and more. But until next time, go Tigers.
Go Cox.